The laughter hit me first. Sharp, cruel. I looked down at the nameplate resting against the white linen tablecloth. My name wasn't there. Only the words, "Low-educated fake dad." The letters glared up at me like an accusation I hadn't earned, a label meant to shrink me into silence. My hand rested still beside the glass. My pulse was the only thing that betrayed me. Her family laughed again, loud enough to draw eyes. The bride's uncle leaned toward another guest, whispering words not meant for me but aimed with precision. Fake father, no education, a burden my son had carried. I didn't move, not a twitch, but inside the air grew heavy. I saw my son across the hall, standing tall in his wedding suit, pride and nervousness woven across his young face. He hadn't seen it yet. He hadn't noticed how his bride's family fed on me like vultures. Not yet. I folded my fingers together, cold steel beneath my skin. I had been here before, in smaller ways, quieter rooms, whispers, glances, but never this public, never this deliberate. Something in me clicked into place. Not rage, not grief. Something colder. Patience. The whispers had started years earlier. When his mother left me, she didn't take her words with her. She left them behind, stitched into the ears of neighbors, relatives, even the boy himself. Your father doesn't know anything. He barely finished school. You'll have to rise above him. A knife disguised as encouragement. I raised him alone after she disappeared into another man's shadow. I fed him, clothed him, stayed up through nights of fever and exams. Yet every so often, I'd see the doubt in his eyes, planted, watered, growing. Still, he never said the words. He smiled. He called me Dad. He leaned on me when things grew heavy. And I told myself that was enough. Until today. The bride's family didn't invent those words. Someone handed them the script. Someone armed them, and I knew who. The past returned in fragments. Her voice, her bitterness, her years of silence before suddenly arriving at this wedding, pretending to be mother again. She had told them. She had poisoned them, and through them she tried to poison him against me. Fake father, uneducated, a relic to be mocked. My chest tightened, but I didn't flinch. My silence was my shield. Let them laugh. For now. I began my quiet investigation weeks before this day. A habit, a survival instinct. She had reappeared too suddenly, too clean, too eager to play the role of mother of the groom. I knew people like her never return without motive. So I watched. I listened. Phone calls half hidden. Messages deleted. Conversations cut short when I entered the room. I didn't confront. I observed. I remembered the men, the faces, the blurred timelines she always danced around. And I asked myself, for the first time in years, had I been raising another man's son all along? The thought rooted in me, quiet, poisonous, but I didn't let it show. Instead, I sent off for answers. DNA tests, hidden under routine medical paperwork. Discreet, clinical. I needed certainty before I struck. I carried on as if nothing churned inside me, helping my son choose suits, listening to his nervous rehearsals of vows, laughing at jokes I barely heard. But at night, the silence burned. If the truth was what I feared, then I was not just mocked as a fake father. I was. Still, I waited, calm, controlled, because patience is sharper than rage. The envelope arrived 3 days before the wedding, thin, ordinary, indifferent to the weight it carried. I didn't open it immediately. I let it sit on the table, staring back at me like an unblinking eye. When I finally tore it open, the world stilled. The truth was written in sterile percentages, undeniable, final, not mine. I closed the envelope, slid it back into its cover, and placed it in my jacket pocket. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I simply knew. That evening, I met her eyes across the rehearsal dinner. She looked away first. She knew I knew. She hadn't expected me to confirm it. She thought her whispers would be enough. But the truth was now mine, and truth is a weapon sharper than rumor. The laughter at the wedding table continued. The nameplate sat before me like a crown of thorns. I waited until the room grew quiet, until my son approached, confusion shadowing his face. He reached for the card, his jaw tightening as he read the words. His eyes lifted to me, trembling with shame, with apology he couldn't voice. That was the moment. I slid the envelope across the table, smooth, silent. "Read it," I said, my voice calm, almost gentle. He opened it. His hands shook. His bride's family leaned in, curious. His mother paled instantly, as if her skin had remembered guilt before her mind could. The silence that followed was absolute. He looked at her, not me. His voice broke once, then steadied. "All these years," he whispered, "all these years, you lied." She reached for him. He pulled back. I watched without a word. No gloating, no comfort, just presence. She had mocked me as a fake father, yet in front of everyone, she was revealed as something worse. A liar who had built her survival on deception. And my son, my knocked son, stood between us, broken but finally aware. I left before the first dance. The hall behind me pulsed with whispers, tears, fractured laughter. None of it belonged to me anymore. The night air was cold, honest. Was I his father? Not by blood, never had been, but by